would naturally mean that very highly qualified and well-meaning people, both within and outside the NDC, will not see their dream of securing a position to serve their country in a ministerial capacity materialize at this moment. The exigencies of the time dictate that we change course and gravitate towards an era where emphasis is placed on efficiency and prudent management of our resources. So to the many highly qualified members of the NDC who fought hard to ensure our return into office and who would relish an opportunity to put their talent and skills at the disposal of the country, know that there are many other ways to make your presence and expertise beneficial to this nation. There still remain quite a number of positions outside of ministerial roles, and in due course, you may be called to serve in these capacities. We also seek to construct a nation in which the best and the brightest are encouraged to serve their nation, even if they are not overtly partisan. Let me at this stage congratulate the 5 ministers whom we have just sworn in today. There's no greater honor than to be called to serve your country. But with that honor comes great responsibility, especially in circumstances such as ours, where our nation is in dire straits with a rundown economy characterized by choking debt and all manner of sectors.
Samson Asaki Awingobert is president of the Importers and Exporters Association. He is also, he was in the 2024 elections the flag bearer. General Chairman of the PNC, I beg your pardon, is joining us on the phone line. Samson, good morning to you. How are you?
I'm okay. Good morning. Good morning to your listeners as well.
Great. Good to have you on the lines. Your sector.
And Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too, Samson. You now have a new minister. We'll get into the conversations, into details, but on the front of it, what do you make of the swearing in of your minister in general?
Thank you very much. Let me first and foremost congratulate all the ministers that were elected and approved by our honorable parliament and then sworn into office by Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. All ministers are a very solid team, and I am very optimistic that they will deliver solid in terms of policy formulation, in terms of policy, seat their agency for policy to be implemented in those agencies. And then they will do a proper coordination to make sure that together they achieve with the president, they help the president to achieve his promise and his reason for coming back at the time of President John Dramani Mahama, the legacy that he wants to leave for Ghana, the development agent. I knew that these ministers are very, very solid. To your question, Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare is a very solid woman, a lawyer by profession. She's very calm, and I'm very optimistic that when she was the last previous government of President Mahama, he was the Minister of Tourism, and we know what she was able to do there. I have no doubt that with the good expert at the Ministry of Trade there, would support her ably to be able to come out with policies and programs that would make a good name, and that will bring job creation, that will open the economy, that will open for Ghanaians and non-Ghanaians to look into Ghana so far as they want to do businesses. The first time that ministry is having additional responsibility, I remember President Kufuor's time, it was called Special Initiative, is that not it? Mm-hmm. But in this regard, President Mahama said agri-businesses. What it means is that that ministry will have an additional responsibility to make sure that our agro-processing, our manufacturers, we should not export raw materials like that, our goods like that, but we should add more value. And when adding value, what it means is that we will bring more hard currency to come back to support our city, and that could bring in more forex, and that forex will come to support stability of our city, and instead of depreciating our city. Because if you do more agri export, forests will come. I know that Ghana will normally concentrate on only the traditional exports more. That is the gold, the bauxite, the diamond, and other things, and the oil and gas and other things. But as we speak now, agro processing is key. It's dear to I'm sure it's going to be dear to the heart of the new minister, and I'm sure President Mahama would definitely give some trade deputies to her. At least deputy in charge of the industry, deputy in charge of trade, and then deputy in charge of the agri-businesses. And I'm sure President Mahama, with the minister too, the minister should be able to suggest to President Mahama so that we'll have an agency under it in the name of agri-businesses agency, so that the minister can always look at policy formulation and coordination, so that at least they will be able to take care of people who are into agri-businesses. They're looking for market. Market emerging is going to be very paramount. I look forward to see the minister from ambassadors to go and do brand Ghanaian markets seriously, and our product, so that we can export more to reduce more importations. That is what I'm looking for. And we should fight for a better interest rate, a better utility tariff, because I know one of the top areas that is not making Ghana progress is the interest rate, and utility tariff kills agribusiness. But agribusinesses can start from your kitchen, your hall, your single room. You can start to do business. If you go to China and others, that is how they do before they expand. Governments will give deliberate attention by giving them proper and then suffer loan facilities, so that if it can be 0%, it should be 0%, because that is the drive. We want to improve more export, or we want to make sure that Ghanaian produce really, really go out of this country and bring more forests back to inject into our economy. And that is how bring us stability.
Something I'd like for you to hold on for me. Let me bring in Dr. Joseph Obeng, who is with the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Joseph, thank you so much for your time with us on the program. Like I asked Asakia Wingobit, a new minister for the sector that is so dear to your heart, what kind of leadership would you want Madam Ofosu-Adjare to bring to the ministry, and what impact do you also want to see?
First of all, during her vetting, she was able to inspire a lot of confidence to the trading community. She showed a lot of brilliance and insight into the ministry that she's come to handle, and I must say I'm excited to work with her. And then we are also going to give our support to her so that we succeed in this quest. So I don't have any doubt at all in her capability, because the insight she has shown is enough. What is left is for her to engage stakeholders, to build consensus with us, for her to be able to even deliver more. In the ministry, we've had opportunity to work with two female ministers. The one is Emma Mitchell, and then the other one is Honorable Hannah Tete. And they showed a lot of commitment, and they delivered, because, women form about 60% in trading and all that. And they are always receptive to the women, engage with them. And that's what I'm expecting that our new minister is also going to do. And so I'm very hopeful.
Still with you, Joseph. You have a lot of concerns in the area of trade and industry, particularly trading in the country. Let's now talk about policy direction. If you were to select about 5 of them in order of priority, which areas would you want Madam Ofosu-Adjare to pay particular attention to in order to transform trade and agribusiness in the country?
Yeah. So, our concerns are not limited only to the trade ministry. when we are talking about taxes and other things, it's mainly on the Ministry of Finance and Transport. Right. But we send our concerns to the ministry for them to meet it. So they are intermediaries of most of our concerns. But when it comes to the trade ministry itself, they are also very much to some concerns like the foreigners issue that we have been raising all the time, and then how to even make capacity, how to enhance on our capacity and all that. So, and then the import substitution and all that. So, in this regard, we also bring those concerns to the ministry, and then we work on that. Yeah.
Something, if you're still on the line with me, you've already spoken about a few of them, but talk to us more about the kind of policy direction you would want Madam Fosu-Adjare to champion at this ministry in the favor of exporting more and importing less and adding value to Ghanaian produce.
Thank you very much. I just want, let me say a very big good morning to my senior comrade, Dr. Gisarobe, in the other line. I must say that I'm not going to be too distant from what Dr. Devt is saying. I'm looking for more collaboration. I'm looking for more stakeholders engagement. I'm looking for the minister not to sway, like his predecessor. Her predecessor did. Would sleep and wake up, then he ran into Parliament to say, I'm going to get an LI to regulate importations of 21 line items. I'm going to Parliament to get an LI to regulate cement prices without engaging the stakeholders. I hope and pray that the new minister will make sure that at any given time, formulating our policy, stakeholders engagement is key. And so by the time it gives birth to the policy at implementation level, you will receive less backlash or red flags raised from the various sectors. And he has so many stakeholders to engage more in at any time you want to take a decision on any of the sector. I must say that if you ask me, as I said, that ministry is new, and that agency that gets added, or that portion of her responsibility that gets added to the trade industry and agribusiness. The agribusiness is new to her, or it's new to the ministries, but I think that she will have to appoint new competent people to really rally behind her and support her in that direction, in consultation with we, the stakeholders. Formulating policy is, yes, Mr. President of the Good to have said it, she should be in mind of talking to her sisters ministers, Minister of Finance, Minister of Transport, and of course, sometimes Minister of Agri, so that at least in formulating policies or in terms of lobbying for taxes and other things to boost these people without her consulting her colleague ministry, she might have a good policy, but if the colleague ministry has not bought into the idea, that policy may not see a proper implementation. And I think that is the way to go. And the aspect is that she knows, she was in her veterancy, she admitted that utility tariff is high in this country. And so I think that in formulating policy, she should also look at how she will reach out to power ministries. If she really wants to survive the agri-businesses, especially agro-processing, will be one of the top paramount policy for her in her heart, then I think that considering utility tariffs, she needs to talk to the energy ministries and also talk to local government ministries. Because local government ministries, when you come to Tema, Enclave area, my office is in Tema, when you go to a lot of the factories, they will tell you that the assemblies also come for what? They also do IGF, internal generated fund. You know about that. And then some of them, if they tell you the bill that they pay, some of the factors, the bill that they pay to this assembly is so huge as if they are also a revenue generating authority. But I do know that they needed to also survive. I'm talking of the assemblies. But in terms of the bills that they send to these factories, is something that they should also look at it. Facilitating road constructions in this, wherever we are doing processing. Because you go to some of the industrial area and you see the road network, it is so appalling. If you come to my area, my office area, first, the Meridian area, the roads were not good, but now some of the roads have been given a facelift. If the people are paying so much taxes to the state, and you are doing production, and you expect your customer to drive safely to your factory and pick goods, cargo, and go, and the road network is not good, it's not going to help in trade maximization. So I think that she will also look into that and also lobby the energy and the road minister in terms of road infrastructure to get into so that they will have proper access of road to these factories wherever we will be setting up them to do production. I think this should be some of the top things for the minister to think through and to collaborate with the sector ministers that have just made mention, because she may have good policy, but if her colleagues ministers who have that power, that responsibility to do something, and they are not buying to your idea, that could lead up to a very chaotic. Indeed, a minister of finance is also paramount to me. In terms of if the minister of finance, I remember the previous government, what was lacking was that there was no that ministerial coordination properly. Because you go to the governor of Bank of Ghana will tell you I'm upping my prime rate because I deal with monetary policy. The one will say that why you have inflation, other things, and then the city inflation and interest rate. Then the minister, the Bank of Ghana will tell you that he's only in charge of IGF. He's in charge of monetary policy, and someone is also in charge of fiscal policy. If we should have a minister of finance and they are not talking in good terms, or they are not collaborating with the governor of the Bank of Ghana, then of course the minister of finance may be working hard to stabilize city depreciation, stabilize inflation. But if the governor is not also adherent to what or look into, or there is no policy coordination, then he might also be doing different things. Then we will go to bank to borrow at a high rate because prime rate is on top. Yet minister are trying to bring inflation down. If inflation comes down, then interest rate should come down as well for industry to borrow. So we want these two ministers to work. And I know that Honorable Atufosu is a very young, energetic guy. And I'm sure the President Mahama will also appoint somebody who will be a very level-headed person to go to the Bank of Ghana, so that these two people can collaborate. And most of the time, when they're doing policy formulation, they should also bring other ministries that have the business I have, like my ministry, Minister of Trade like this, or Minister of Transport. So the transport fares, increase fuel fares, they have to also bring in energy ministry. So energy ministries, finance ministry, transport ministry, trade ministry, agri ministry, these people should be always in contact, constant talking, so that their agencies or their CEOs and the certain agencies under them can also work to formulate a unique policy that will reduce the burden of cost of doing business in this country. Then business will flow, as the 24-hour economy is talking about, as the resetting of Ghana is talking about. That is the way to go. So this is what I want to put add to the conversation this morning.
And this brings me, Dr. Obing, to the conversation about the possible challenges that she is likely or may face in the ministry. So the Minister for Trade, Industry and Agribusiness, these sectors of the economy, very important, very crucial. A lot of areas depend heavily on these, as well as they also depending on other ministries, for instance, the finance ministry. In terms of challenges, what is she likely to face in her policy implementation or in the running of the ministry? Will it be a matter of collaborating with other ministries? Will it be stakeholder engagement problems? Will it be interest, or will it be a lot of deputies that she may need that she may not get?
So she's not going to work in isolation. So it's very important that she recognizes that, and that she is going to have constant engagement with the stakeholder groupings, so that we can all formulate a common policy or agenda that will carry through the other overlapping ministries. And so it's about working together with them, and then we are going to succeed. Please, am I on?
You're on air.
Yeah. So what matters most is that she should do everything to transform the traders into captains of industry. It's very important that we are going to do everything to assist her in that direction. How to promote made in Ghana. Now, agri-business have been added. How are we going to do value addition? How are we going to be relevant to the continental free trade area? All of these will have to come to bear. We have to sit down with them, and then how we can also even diversify from trading to export and all that. I think Asaki have said most of these things, and we have to sit down with them to weave the policies together and pull it together and then make it work for all of us.
And Dr. Bing, lastly from me, let's talk about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. This is something that should benefit all of us. With a new minister and a new ministry, if you like, how does she maximize the opportunities that AFTA presents to the Ghanaian economy?
Yeah, so all that, after is on, some countries are taking advantage. I think we are not taking advantage, or as she said, we have to have leverage, have leverage on the continental free trade. But why is this so? Because we are not competitive. Because you cannot overprice the produce of your industries, and that's what has been going on in terms of excessive taxation, the high cost of doing business, and all that. So our industries are struggling to push their goods across the borders to the neighboring countries, because the neighboring countries are not going to buy from us because they say there's continental free trade. They are going to compare prices, they are going to compare quality and all that. So I think we have to do everything to reduce cost of doing business, create enabling environments where the local industries will thrive. And that will not be only for the trade minister to do. That's why I'm saying that her ministry is very important, because it works with the other ministries to bring businesses and industries to work. And that we are all going to work together to make sure that we will be able to generate productivity where it will be competitive for us to survive in the scheme of the continental free trade area.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time with us on the program.
Thank you.
3FM Sunrise.